So you have Cursor, which was just sold to SpaceX for $60 billion. You have OpenAI, which is a multi-billion-dollar company. And then you have Vibe Coded Apps that is literally making $100,000 a month right now, if not 300 or 500,000. And what does it mean for you? Most entrepreneurs won't survive. Why do I say that? It's because of the fact that AI is marketed as a productivity tool, essentially to make you far more productive. And if you aren't using it in that way, you will be left behind. What does it mean to even use AI in that sense? Everyone that is using it right now, especially to produce more for their company, as an entrepreneur especially, is breaking new grounds when it comes to profit margins, finding better clients, doing so much more from the time expense part of everything. And so if you don't get on board in a sense, you will be left behind. And it really just comes down to you not having the ability to understand it, okay? So what is AI and what does it mean for entrepreneurs? Before we get into any of that, I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur that grew my company from scratch. I just recently moved down to Florida to grow my company, and we've scaled it to do more than 5 figures in a month. We use AI day in and day out, but before I was using AI for my company in particular, I was going to be a data scientist, actually working with AI for these companies. And I actually graduated with a CS degree back in college, or computer science degree. Now, what does it mean for you? What is AI actually? Like, the way that I like to explain it is it's basically stats on steroids. It statistically gets better at doing one task over and over again. And it just finds a way to optimize for the right output. And there are a method of different ways to teach it so that you can utilize it for one task repetitively. And so that's why it is marketed as a productivity tool. It's because it can do the same thing over and over and over again for you. And it could even build workflows around what you're already doing day in and day out. That broke new grounds for everybody to now be able to just be on the same level when it comes to productivity. You no longer need an army of people to do the same task and taught to do that same exact thing. Now, from the sense of like, what does it mean for you to be getting left behind? Well, how are people using AI today, right? People are using AI in the most simplest way, which is writing emails. And maybe just asking it questions like for Google. That's the simplest way that people are using AI right now. But at the end of the day, there's Cowork, there's Perplexity. There are all these different applications that you can then use to actually build full-on applications yourself. Everybody now has the ability to code. Everybody has the ability to now program whatever it is that they want. Think of all the people back then that wanted to start an application, like an app on the App Store, are now able to do that. And now everybody that also wanted to make a game, make a website, everything within that realm has just been exploded in a sense to the consumer, to the daily consumer. That is no longer hard to obtain. Anybody can do it. And with a few hours on Claude, you can get pretty damn far with making your own website, making your own game, or making your own app of whatever it is that you want to do. And so people are getting left behind in that sense because a lot of people don't have the proper applications, or they don't have different avenues of business that could exist for them. And competitors are coming out with those options for their customers at a far faster rate. What does it mean for you, these big giant companies that are using AI or learning how to use AI compared to us? What is our advantage against them when it comes to AI? First and foremost, it's your own self-education. You have to be well educated in AI, and it's not even about understanding how to make an AI. It's about how to orchestrate with AI. How can you use Claude Cowork? How can you use Perplexity? How can you use MCP or AI protocols to build out whatever it is that you want for your business to automate certain tasks? Everybody that is building their own company right now needs to get into and needs to learn. You have to be able to understand what AI is. You can then be able to build your own platform, build your own aspects, build your own workflows, build your own automations, etc., because that will save you so much time. And it's a very high value skill that people are paying for. The big companies are paying people $300,000 to literally hire. And is to do that exact task, right? And if you can do that for your business, you can then grow far more. Bigger companies have far more regulations and rules that they have to abide by. There are far more things that they have to do to be able to implement AI into their business. And so while they might have the resources to be able to fund hiring more people, acquiring companies, or acqui-hiring, so that they can then get the talent that they need to build out these things, that takes time and effort. And if you, on the other hand, are a solo entrepreneur, you can build out these systems for yourself, and you can build them out smoothly. You could make yourself far more productive, and personalizing your outreach or whatever the case may be, whether you use that for sales, marketing, data, whatever the case may be, you can use it and be far more effective at an earlier stage than all of the bigger companies. That is a differentiating factor right now. And the bigger companies are, if a smaller company has enough runway, they're able to scale up a company very fast, like Cursor, literally get sold for 60 billion. And now that's like far-fetched, because that's a SaaS company, right? Like how does that get into your world if you're not into SaaS, right? This is where a lot of the manual labor and a lot of the things that you would have to hire people to do comes into play. And you could use this in a few different ways. Personal assistant is one of the best ways to use AI right now if you're not already doing so. What do I mean by personal assistant? I mean, go into Claude and add connectors for your Google Calendar, add it for your CRM, add it for a bunch of different softwares that you are currently using, so that you can then ask Claude to do all the stuff for you. You no longer have to write your schedule. You no longer have to waste time doing a lot of the menial tasks that you would have been having to do, and it will make you far more productive. And first and foremost, the best way to use it is to be able to ship new ideas within your company. So there's a difference between growth marketing and performance marketing. You have performance marketing, which is working on the channels of business that you already have. Let's say you're, I don't know, a B2B company, and your main source of business right now is to run, I don't know, Facebook ads or cold outreach with email. Performance marketing is making those emails better. It's making those creatives on those ads better. But when you go into growth marketing, you make an entirely new channel, so that you can build out a new way of generating revenue that gives you far more security within your company, but it also is just growing horizontally as opposed to vertically. And so you can use AI right now to optimize both of those campaigns. Let's say your business is only getting, I don't know, 2 to 10% of the market share in your specific thing, and there's a market share that is far bigger with a bigger pool of where your clientele is at. You wouldn't know that, but you can do deep diving research into that using AI. And then you can build an entire workflow around how you're gonna target them, like running ads, doing, I don't know, making a website or optimizing your website to message to those customers far better. And that's the ideal scenario, right? And the biggest difference is that we're becoming far more equipped with the ability to build. Like as a human being, we can build far more. And so like on a fundamental level, back then 100 years ago, like what could a human being actually build? We didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have networks, we didn't have like the form of technology that we have today, which today you're able to almost build anything that you can possibly want. And that brings you into e-commerce. How is that affecting that space? You can make any product that you want. You can make AI influencers. You can literally do whatever it is that you want when it comes down to using AI. And it's like unlimited possibilities. And not only that, it's opened up so much when it comes to the content world and the influencer world, or UGC, whatever the heck you want to call it. From that sense, you can do far more things. So like the 3 things that I would leave you with, if you were to take anything away from this video, is to do far more than just write an email with AI. Open up Claude or Perplexity and see what it can actually do, not by talking to it, but open up the connectors, open up, like connect it to a software that you're already using. Maybe try to learn how to code something so that it can automate a task that you already have in your business. And that is like ground zero. People are already building full-blown AI workflows to do all of their outreach, all of their marketing, all of their ads, like fully done for them. And that's just the tip of the iceberg with what they're doing with this. There are unlimited possibilities as to what you can do with it. And it honestly all just comes down to your mind and the idea of which you're going to build something on. And I felt like the need to talk about this because of my background within AI, but also as a young entrepreneur of like how I'm using it, and how I'm using it to be a better builder in a sense, and like how I'm using it to grow my company and whatnot. And so, yeah, I think far more people can be utilizing it. And if you're a young guy that's an entrepreneur just like me, like, bro, use it. Like, just code, do the full 9, just deep dive into it, and you'll be amazed with the amount of things that you can do right now. 90% of it is just understanding the vocabulary and the concepts behind it. Once you understand the concepts behind how a website works, or an AI tech stack, or orchestrating all of those softwares together, you will then be able to build whatever you want. And that is the biggest gift of all. And so there are a lot of bad things happening in the world, but I'm just strictly talking about from a capitalistic perspective as an entrepreneur, being able to use it in today's day and age. You can absolutely go and build yourself a company that's going to make you a few $1,000s a month, if not more than that. And it all comes down to the belief that you have in it, and how it can be successful for you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this gave you a lot of value. And if you have any questions, just comment all of the things down in the comment section below, and to help you guys out if you have any personal questions as to how you can use AI. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.